This hits hard.
Yeah, I know. It's a nice beat. And welcome everybody back to the Nerdified Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Paul. With me as always, for now anyway, Morgan, before he goes off and serves his country.
It's next month, man.
I know, dude, but
26th.
San Diego Comic-Con 2019.
They dropped a lot, dude.
Marvel came out with their Hall H panel. They dropped a lot of shit. I got it right here. Let's see.
This is the first phase where there's not a Avengers at the end of it.
I know, which is kind of weird because that's usually been the bookend for all these years. So next year, May 20th, we get Black Widow, which I'm kind of excited for. I saw some of the footage that they.
Yeah. Have you heard?
I haven't seen the Comic-Con.
It's between Civil War and Infinity War.
Right,
so.
which is good. I mean, because you kind of see what's going on. You know what they were doing at least for Black Widow, what she was doing in between Civil War and Endgame, and then on the Disney Plus, we get the Falcon and Winter Soldier series, which kind of looks pretty cool.
Dude, did you hear who's coming back for that?
Who?
Zemo.
Oh yeah, they had like some weird video at Comic-Con where they were showing him.
Yeah, I can't wait.
In like that purple mask, and like he wears it in a comic book. And then November 6th, 2020, we get the Eternals, and that's like people are like freaking out over there.
There's a lot of big A-listers on that, and it's gonna be really good.
But it worries me. It worries me that there's a lot of A-listers, right?
Yeah.
Because sometimes they feel if they get a lot of like really, really good people on there, they get a lot of A-listers that they don't have to like give you a good script or a good story.
Yeah, I'm worried about that too. But I mean,
because you have Angelina Jolie, you have I don't want to seem racist and butcher his name, but you got Indian guy from
he's been on a lot.
Man, I can't even think of his name. I fucking totally blanked. But anyway, if you know, everybody knows who he is. And then you have Rob Stark. Rob Stark is playing one of the Eternals, and then some other lady that I didn't remember her name was, but
there better not be another red wedding. That's all I gotta say.
Well, but that's the whole thing, man. Is that's a lot of star power.
Oh yeah,
a lot of star power, and sometimes
that's where writers get lazy. If they're like, we got all these A-listers, we could have a complete shit script.
And that's a good segue because one of the big things that came out of Comic-Con was those two fucktards, D&D. David Benioff and Weiss, they bitched out and didn't come to the panel. Man, when I saw that shit on the internet, dude, I was like, you sons of bitches.
Right? Yeah.
Because they knew that they were going to get shredded.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
the fans that go to Comic-Con are like hard. I mean, we're hardcore fans too, but these guys are
we ain't on.
You
don't see us
dig through shit to find the smallest stuff, and it's intense. They would have.
You don't see me dressing up like Samuel and fucking going to Comic-Con. Right. Which is what I should do. Right. I should go dressed up as Samuel Tarly.
Jon Snow. If I grow my hair out.
Maybe Theon.
Wow, you're gonna do me like that. You're gonna do me like that. Okay. Okay. I thought that was gonna be Michael, but okay.
You could do a little tuck job. You know what I mean?
Wow, Paulie. Love you too.
But. Yeah, so these guys, all of a sudden, there's a scheduling conflict, and everybody that knows that they
just didn't want to show up.
They booked this shit months in advance, maybe even years.
Yeah,
right, and especially coming off of the ending, the final season where everybody was supposed to be blown away, and once they gave us that shit show,
they're like, we should just not go to Comic-Con this year. We're just gonna chill.
Yeah, right. Because it's like, hey, do you want to go get roasted? Right. You know what I'm saying?
And have that shit on.
They
Twitter.
They could have had every actor, actress, or whoever was on there, and everybody's been like, hey, my name is Joe from Wisconsin.
What the fuck happened to Game of Thrones?
I flew 2,000 miles here. What the fuck, bro? That'd have been their first question.
I flew 2,000 miles just to ask you. The fuck do you think you were doing?
Yeah. What the hell? What the hell did you think? What drugs were you on that convinced you what we got was going to be worth?
Do you know how some people, dude, they had to be happy that they didn't show up because they're like, you know what? We'll save them for next year. We'll save these questions for next year.
Because presumably next year, if they go to Comic-Con, they'll be there with Star Wars.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Right?
Oh yeah, they're doing Rise of a Skywalker.
No, that's not them. They're doing some other projects.
Oh, that's the Mandalorian, I think, right? With
No, it's not even that. That's Jon Favreau. That's Iron Man,
that's
original
right.
Iron Man guy.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Shit,
the
they
Rise
don't,
of
they don't want to put their
Skywalker.
name on anything.
Well, that's the whole deal, right? Because everybody's. They could, and arguably they could come out next year or whenever their stuff, their piece of the Star Wars franchise comes out. It may be fantastic.
Right.
Nobody's gonna give a shit.
Nope.
Because as soon as they get on that panel, people are still going to be harboring fucking anger from Game of Thrones, and they're going to be like,
stroking that fire, be like, "What up?"
You could even people be like, the biggest grossing Star Wars movie or franchise or spinoff in history of cinema, and they could win fucking Oscars, they could do whatever. 2 years from now, people are gonna be like, "Yo, what the fuck happened in Game of Thrones, bro?"
Right? They're gonna be like, "Okay, if you did so well in this movie, what the fuck happened in Game of Thrones, man?"
Like HBO couldn't give you enough money. You know what I mean? It's not like these guys wasn't trying to back up the money truck to their house and give them whatever they wanted, and then they just fucking screwed the pooch. Yeah, I just thought that was like, man, that's such a bitch move for them to just
really was.
Dip out like 2 days before Comic-Con. I mean, do I blame them? Because if I'm really being objective here, I would have been like, maybe I should give this a hard pass myself, especially after you literally phoned in the 6 episodes that what'd you hear?
I heard
we getting raided? Like, what the fuck's happening?
What the hell's going on? Like every time we try to do a podcast, somebody comes.
Oh yeah, trains, lawnmowers, dogs. They're all out to get us. But yeah, so I mean, do I blame them? No. But I really felt like this has been your project.
Right.
You got all these accolades, you got made all this money as a result of the work that you've done, and then
even though some of it was shit.
Well,
allergies kicked in.
Like I said, the last season is horrible. Right, in my opinion, and there's still people defending that shit, and I'm like,
how can you?
You're just choosing a side because you want to get views or listens or clicks or whatever the fuck they got going on, whether it's YouTube or SoundCloud or podcast or whatever. And I'm like, quit fooling yourself.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because nobody liked that shit. I didn't like it. Nobody liked it. And then they just dipped out, and I'm like, it's a bitch move, but if I was probably in the same situation, I would have done the same damn thing. Because, it was a firing squad, bro. There wasn't
Bro, I bet it's either they bitched out or Kevin's like, you know what, guys? Y'all just sit at home and think about what y'all done.
Well, HBO, because, they're attached to this shit, too. Oh, yeah. For better or for worse. Yep. They're going to get they're fixing to get the chimichanga from that shit. And so, but, I mean, as much as I wanted to dog on them, man, I don't know if I'd want it. I mean, because that's a ravenous crowd. Yeah. Comic-Con.
For how bad the 8th season was, all the other ones were good. So, I mean, there was going to be some people there who weren't going to, behead them or.
Right. And they got 32 nominations, Emmy nominations. And the craziest part was most of the motherfuckers had to nominate themselves, which is crazy.
Right.
And I think we talked about it last time, but yeah, it's just, man, the fallout after that. I mean, it's been 2 months now? Right. April, May. No, 3 months almost. And people are still like fucking losing their shit over it. And then they dip out. Do I think it was a bitch move? Yes. Do I, would I have done the same thing? Of course.
Yes. Hell yeah.
Who wants to show up to get skewered? You know what I mean? They were fixing to get roasted.
There would have been no questions about Eternals. None.
People could have given two shits about what Star Wars project they had coming up, because all they want to know is like, yo, we don't care. Right. That's in the future. We want to know what the hell you was thinking when you
what kind of indie movie type shit did you give us the 8th season, man?
Right. It's not even a good indie movie. Indie movie, man. It's just like, I almost feel like I hate those movies where they give you a opening act and it's awesome. They give you something to get hooked on. Right. They really have this big second act where all this shit goes down.
And then they drag it through the
dirt. And then they just kind of like toss that shit in the trash when it comes to the third act. Right. I almost want to say it was almost as bad as Sopranos. season finale. You probably hadn't seen it, but so you get The Sopranos. It's this mob movie. You know, you have all these eccentric characters. You have mob and shooting and whacking and
It's Game
money.
of Thrones modern time.
Yeah, well, yeah, except they didn't have swords, you know, and their base of operation was a strip club.
And, you know, not a castle
or a brothel.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? But yeah, and then at the end they just kind of like cut it short, and we're like, what the fuck? Even back then, you know, I was so excited for the season or the series finale, and then they just shit the bed, and I'm like, oh Jesus, you know. We got to have, people need closure.
You had your Vietnam flashback for Game of Thrones.
Right. Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I thought when I was watching Game of Thrones. It was like literally I was getting Sopranoed all over again. Right? And I don't want to get on a tear.
So, Black Widow.
Yeah, Black Widow.
Bro, you know who's in it?
Who's that?
They're going to introduce Red Guardian, and he's like the UK version of...
It's Hopper from Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
David,
I kind of like that.
David Harbour? Yeah.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
And he's like the UK version of Captain America, so I'm kind of interested.
But is he going to get jacked, though? You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, he kind of sort of got jacked for Hellboy.
Kind of, they had a prosthetic suit.
Yeah. Well, other than that prosthetic suit.
And to be fair, they had one for Ron Perlman when he played the original
And when
Hellboy.
they showed it on Comic-Con, they didn't use the suit. That was him usually like that. That was him in shape. So, I mean,
yeah,
he looked good for a Hellboy movie.
Well, I'm saying because apparently Red Guardian is supposed to be the equivalent of Captain America.
Yeah.
I mean, and we've seen all these movies where Chris Evans has just been...
Dude, he gets
Jack Diesel, you know, and you're just
But they also give him smaller shirts to make him look bigger. So.
Right. It's like, I never forget that part. I remember when I was watching Civil War and, you know, Winter Soldier escaping, he gets in that helicopter.
Yeah.
He jumps up and grabs that bottom of the helicopter, and then he brings it down, and he's just gun show to the max. And I'm like, dang, that dude was jacked.
Yeah, for that one he was.
Yeah, but he said in interviews that when they talk about that scene particularly that
he
was
pulled a muscle.
Well, that and it was early on in the shooting.
Yeah.
You know, all the scenes that where they're like purposely showing him, you know.
That's because he loses like 15 pounds with the filming of these movies. Because that's just how big
they're filming like 10 hours a day. You know what I mean? Not getting enough sleep.
They're sweating off all the sexiness for everyone to look at.
Right. Man. He's in that suit most of the time. Yeah.
Dude, that shit's got to be hot, dude. That would suck.
Yeah, but even regardless, you know, I mean, that's the standard that this dude has to live up to now.
Oh, yeah.
Right? He's got to live up to Captain America holding a damn helicopter from taking off and it's just like shoulders, guns.
Like, shit, what am I going to hold a jet trying to take off?
Right. But I'm excited about Black Widow movie.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I like that they're putting it in between Civil War and Infinity War. I mean,
that's a good timing. I like it.
But, you know, are we going to see cameos from Sam in Captain America? I mean, because, you know, presumably when they show up in, what was that, Scotland in Infinity War when
Wanda and Vision.
Vision were getting their ass whooped for a little while.
Bro, they made him look like a bitch in Infinity War.
Who, Vision?
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We were talking about it.
You know, to be fair, I mean, he was a badass when it came to like humans.
Yeah.
You know, these are like straight up aliens. You don't know. These dudes were, you know, the woman. Man, for some reason I can't remember names. I think I'm getting old. Proxima Midnight.
Corvus Glaive.
That's it. And, you know, they were getting their asses handed to them until that was my favorite part too. I never forget that. I remember being in the theater and they're getting their asses kicked and that train comes by. And Proxima Midnight like sees something in the background and then the train passes and it's like, you know,
and that little musical cue in the background.
Yeah, and then you got like, you know, like Jack bearded Chris Evans. You know? All the women in the theater were like I was kind of fluttering too. I ain't even gonna lie.
Shit, come on, it's Chris Evans. I mean,
right, and I was like, that was like one of the best, you know, like cinematic entrance that you could have because you knew shit was getting real. Then Captain America shows up.
Well, dude, Thor's entrance was pretty badass too, man. The intro, the OG like Avengers song, and then
because you know, and that's like movie 101. You have the heroes like starting to get overrun by these outriders coming out of those ships, and then you're like,
just fuck them up with the Bifrost just.
Right, you see Hulk or you see Banner and the Hulkbuster. He starts getting overrun, and they're like, oh, what's gonna happen? And then that Bifrost just like when he comes down and he's like jacked and his suit's all fixed, and he got his Stormbreaker. Yeah, those are Infinity War. Man, I think they're even. Those two movies, Infinity War and Endgame, were even movies, but in some parts I think were better in Infinity War than we got in Endgame.
Yeah.
Especially like the Captain America scene and the when Thor came back after getting his hammer.
And then the whole noticed you copied my beard.
Yeah.
This is my friend Tree. I am Groot.
Yeah. And so I'm excited for the Black Widow movie. I hope that they don't. I mean, I think it's gonna be good if they take the same approach that the Russo's brothers took to Winter Soldier.
Yeah, that kind of like kind of spy thriller.
Right.
Feel
if they do that and they stick to that, I think it'll be an excellent movie. I mean, Scarlett Johansson is a great actor. I have no problems, and they really got a really stocked, not overly A-list cast. They got Harbor, and they got that other woman that's gonna be playing like her.
Oh, like her.
They got Rachel Weisz
or whatever.
Rachel Weisz is supposed to be like, some assassin that came out of the Red Room.
Yeah,
and they're gonna have her like.
That's supposed to be like her equal or some shit like that.
Right, or somebody who's like just so far gone.
Yeah.
At least with the Black Widow character.
Yeah.
She was doing a bunch of horrible stuff. But eventually,
she got the family, and then it built up. And
she, Hawkeye kind of brought her in the Shield, and she kind of like started using her badassery for good, and so
KGB,
and that's why her death in Endgame, I mean, I understand why she did it, and I understand why Hawkeye's like, look what I become, and it was such a great scene, She was like, I don't judge people on they do with their past because you didn't judge me. And I was like, oh, snap. Black Widow got him, son. And I was like,
and he was all,
that's when I knew. That's when I knew that she was going. When she said that, I was like, oh, shit.
Well, I think that's what Clint knew that, too. I mean, it popped in his head. It was like, oh, well, shit.
And then they had that little mini throwdown to see, fighting. Let's see who dies. Let's fight to see who gets to jump off a fucking cliff.
Bro, one of them should have said, I love you, Red Skull, and watch his ass just take a nosedive.
Right. It was just, it's like, there must be a sacrifice. All right, bitch.
I love you.
Man. But yeah, I'm excited for that. And then the Eternals. And like I said, I don't know much about the Eternals.
Oh, they could easily, if they don't write it good or direct it good, they could easily screw it up. Because they've been around forever. They just haven't announced themselves. Like, they've been watching this shit go down.
And I trust Kevin Feige. He's been the captain of this, this Titanic, And when I say Titanic, I'm not, just throwing out a ship name.
Yeah.
Because, the ultimate story of the Titanic is they have this massive ship and they have, they're cruising.
And that immovable object.
Yeah, they hit that iceberg and then all shit breaks loose.
Yeah.
And I hope that because even when we look at the Marvel movies in the whole, as you look at them in the Infinity Saga, most of them have been home runs. Right. Some of them have even been grand slams.
Well, dude, man, I trust Kevin so much that, dude, I mean, he made a movie about a talking raccoon and a freaking tree.
Right.
With, like, a reject.
Well, okay, now that's true. Kevin is the overseer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was the talent of James Gunn.
Well, I mean, yeah, other than that, I mean.
He's been trusting people to take on these projects.
That mostly anybody wouldn't have touched.
Right.
Because if you would have told any of us back in 2001, oh, yeah, we're going to have a reject, a talking tree, and a talking raccoon, and a colored girl.
Yeah, we'd been like, get the hell out of here. Right. Nobody's going to watch that.
What crack are you smoking?
But then Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one, is probably up there in the top 5 best Marvel movies that came out of this Infinity Saga. Easily. Yeah. I mean, the music, the characters, the story. I mean, it all clicked.
Oh, yeah.
And I just hope that they're not just banking on having all these big stars come in and that's what's going to carry the property. Because that really hasn't been the model for success for Marvel. They've always had good characters.
Went, in complete different directions, and you look at successful.
Well, you look at Iron Man. Robert Downey Jr. wasn't in his status now.
No.
You can't be confused with Robert Downey Jr. now.
And then.
Versus, RDJ.
Oh, yeah.
Because he was coming off Scandal. He was coming off drug addiction. I mean, he had been clean for a few years. And he was, like, looking to he was trying to lock on to a franchise and get that big. Because, he did, Iron Man led to Sherlock Holmes, which he's making a third Sherlock movie.
Yeah, and a Dr. Dolittle, if you didn't know that.
No, really?
Yep. He's the next Dr. Dolittle.
Who could do better than Eddie Murphy?
I'm just saying.
No, Robert Downey Jr. could do better than Eddie Murphy. I mean, I didn't hate Dr. Doolittle, but I think it'll be a different take of Dr. Doolittle with RDJ as the main character instead of Eddie Murphy.
Most badass character in the MCU is not going to be talking to animals for an hour and a half or 2 hours.
Right. But I mean, yeah. So I'm excited for Black Widow, and I'm trusting Kevin Feige that.
Oh yeah.
Whatever they're gonna put out as far as the Eternals movie is gonna be up to par with what they've given us. Like I said, most of them have been home runs. The first Thor was like a hard single. You know, he didn't strike. It wasn't a strikeout.
No.
I mean, it made money.
It was a foul ball. That was a foul ball.
No. It wasn't even a foul ball. It was like he hit a hard single. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he got to first base.
Yeah.
Thor: The Dark World was like a bunt that he fucking ran out before the pitcher got to the ball. You know what I mean? And he still made it to base.
But just barely.
You know, and then and then they come around with Thor Ragnarok. And that's when you find your groove in the first pitch. You just smash into another county. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
You know, they didn't give us a date for Black Panther 2, but the deal's already done.
Oh yeah.
We already know it's coming. But now, what are we gonna wait? What?
Bro, Doctor Strange.
5 years?
And the madness of the multiverse. I cannot wait for that.
I know, and I'm excited about that too. But back to the Black Panther. So they didn't give us a date. So what is it gonna be? 2024? I don't think you can wait that long.
I think I heard something about it's supposed to come out not after Phase 4, but a little bit like kind of in between the Phase 4 and Phase 5. Kind of like, you know, like usually there's that break.
Right.
It's supposed to like release sometime around there, or sometime sooner around.
You know, I kind of, you know, if the Eternals, I mean, and I understand that, you know, the people that they cast, they're not just sitting around waiting for a project.
No.
You know what I mean? They're working other stuff. You know, Rob Stark, Richard Madden, he was in this Netflix series, Bodyguard. And I watched the first episode, and it was really good. And so, you know, they're all working. They all have projects. They all have commitments. And
they're all still, you know, trying to get a job.
No, they're not sitting around waiting like, oh, let's do it now. No, they got like, well, I can do this, but I have this. This is the reason why we're not going to get Guardians of the Galaxy 3 till maybe 2024.
Well, it's supposed to come out after...
Well,
Thor: Love and Thunder.
Until, you know...
I love that title. Love and
Thunder. Well, we'll have to get to that because I have some worries about that movie too. So, you know, then they had that whole where Disney panicked and fucking fired James Gunn. And then it's like, what did they expect, right? What did they expect? That he was going to be out of Marvel and that he was just going to just sit around?
Yeah.
Right? DC, who's been begging... You know, and they've only lucked out with Aquaman, and they kind of lucked out with Wonder Woman, the first one, right? Because I still say Wonder Woman up to the third act, great movie.
Oh yeah.
But when her and Ares are throwing down, it was
God,
man,
yeah.
It's like, give me a break.
Right.
And then Aquaman, that was solely, what's his face?
That was all on Jason Momoa.
Oh, all on him. If they would have cast anybody else to play Aquaman, it would have bombed. It would have been like
hard.
And you know, their budget was probably $200+ million.
Right.
And they'd have had some dude on there, and it would have been just a tanker. You know, it was just sunk right to the bottom. I mean, it
depended a lot on him.
And he was just hot right then. And he was on a hot streak.
Yeah, the director for me wasn't really the best. Because you went back to that Fast and Furious cut where it was side by side action. Oh yeah. That shit was like, really? I mean, come on now.
But you know, a lot of directors rather were probably been hesitant, and I think, you know, also with DC they were looking for. I was really surprised that they went so, you know, sparkly, you know,
a lighthearted. It felt like I was watching like My Little Ponies,
right? Or, you know, not far. There was another movie called Far From Home, but it wasn't Spider-Man. It was like, you know, it was lighthearted and it had some action and there was a lot of stuff. I really think if you judge that movie based on the movie and you kind of take Jason Momoa out of the factor, it's not that great of a movie.
It's really not.
And I think that I went because I like Jason Momoa. I mean, he's like a dude's dude,
right?
You know what I mean?
Who doesn't want to see Khal Drogo? You know,
right? Yeah, and that's what I'm
wield a
saying. They
spear
had
or trident.
Game of Thrones people because they loved that his character in Game of Thrones. So they see you take him out of that,
Yeah.
and that's just like
And
they
you kinda
just
have to
threw
take out-
$200 million
Yeah,
in the
and you
trash.
kind of have to take out William Dafoe in there too, because he kind of carried the movie too. I mean, not as much.
If
as
there's
Jason
anybody
Momoa,
that looks
but-
like they could live under the fucking ocean, it's William Dafoe.
Yeah.
I mean, he just has that. He played the Green Goblin for God's sake.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so, yeah, and so I'm getting back to Eternals. They better bring it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They better have a good script. They better, because we had the Infinity Saga. That's the bar.
right.
That's the bar that Marvel set. And so everything
And that whole saga, like you said, was either home runs or yeah,
doubles or singles. I mean, none of them were strikeouts,
No.
right? And then most of them were just they get up there and like take the first pitch and
Yeah.
Knock it
Take
into
it
the
as it
next
is.
city. Yeah, and so that's the bar.
Oh yeah.
And sometimes when you have that kind of success, right?
People start slacking and
Well, they start trying to do too much because now they have a bar to live up to, right?
I just hope they don't do like a Spider-Man 3 type thing and just completely try to put too much into one movie and then
Right.
it just falling straight
Well,
off
that's
its face.
when we started talking about like Infinity War and eventually Endgame, I always always think back to X-Men 3
Yeah.
United, wasn't that? Or X? That was
No,
X-Men
that was
2.
X-Men 2,
What was the X-Men 3 movie?
Last Stand.
That's it. Where they just had too much going on,
Too much.
right? Too many characters, and they didn't do it in a way. It just seems like
If they would have split that into 2 movies, it probably would have been better because they added the Dark Phoenix and that whole, we found the cure for
right.
mutancy here.
And it wasn't, and that's another point. That was another point of this movie where they, it's kind of like, we'll get to the Blade movie, right?
Bro, I'm excited
And
for that one.
I'm excited.
I'm excited for that one.
Because, what happens is that, so you had Blade 1, which was incredible,
Yep.
right? You had Blade 2, it was all right.
Decent.
It was decent.
And then Blade 3 is
And
just...
then I felt in my heart, right, that when they told that Dracula, it's like they ran out of ideas,
yeah.
right? They ran out of ideas, and they were like, "Hey, let's have him fight Dracula." And it's like,
It's like they opened door number 1 and just went with it.
right? It's like that's how you know you're in desperation, right?
Yeah.
Is when you have to put Blade against Dracula.
Well, when that one was filming, they said Wesley Snipes was like difficult to work with. That's why I don't think anybody wants to work with him because
No.
that one was okay, and I think Wesley Snipes knew that before they even released the trailer that it was going to be okay.
Which one? Trinity?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was okay. It was entertaining. It had some good moments.
But it could have been way
But
better.
based on Blade 2 in comparison to Trinity was a better movie.
Oh yeah.
And that was Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah.
He was in on that one. And that movie eventually launched the Strain, that FX series. Have you ever watched that?
I watched
man.
part of it.
I just finished it like a couple weeks ago. It was on Hulu.
Yeah.
It was great. I mean, it was kind of like a post-apocalyptic vampire movie. It was great.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. They gave you a fucking ending that you wanted, right? That's the
new.
whole point.
That's new.
Yeah, exactly. Here's a novel theory. Wrap it up in a bow.
Actually have a decent ending.
Yeah, don't give us, these and I
feel like they
remember
should have like professional bitch slappers for like people who are
Right.
trying
Well,
to
they
lose
need-
their shit.
I don't understand where they get to these parts where they can't. What's wrong with giving people what they want,
Right?
right? And you can still give people what they want and still be creative and still be surprising, right?
Yeah. Some
You
of
know,
these though I feel like,
Throw a little twist at the end,
Yeah.
but eventually be
tie it, just
work your way around. Have them take a detour that you didn't see coming,
Yep.
and then they get back on the expressway and just fucking take it home.
But see, I feel like some of these companies or studios and stuff like that, they try to do something like Marvel, but they can't. I mean, Marvel,
No,
with how many movies have been built
like
up
we
to
said,
each of
Marvel
them.
is the standard
Yeah.
when it comes to comic book movies. DC is still trying to grab its footing.
Oh yeah,
I mean, they gave us shit shows like Justice League.
dude.
This Batman movie, who knows what the hell it's going to be
Right.
by the time it finally gets around next year.
Well, Matt Reeves.
Well,
is
no,
a good
the
director,
year
but
after.
Yeah, Matt Reeves is a good director, but I'm really.
This is
hoping
what I
they don't-
think. this is what I hope when they cast Robert Pattinson.
They want their Batman to sparkle.
Well, he has the jaw. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
He has the jaw for it, you know. But he also looks, you know, like a millennial that works at a coffee shop as far as like his physical appearance, you know.
I really hope he beefs up just a little bit.
And I feel hypocritical being a fat dude telling that I need to make sure that my Batman actor is in shape. But, you know, the hell with it. I want...
Yeah.
Because we've always seen like a super jacked Batman just kicking ass, and you know I expect the same out of Robert Pattinson.
Well, see, I don't want to see him too jacked because that'll make his Batman look freaking retarded.
Right.
But I want him to be, you know, be in shape enough to where they don't have to do cuts to where you can't see his jawline because they have to put in another guy for him.
Right.
So I want him to be in shape just enough, and then kind of like throw up like a little bit of a different Batman than we've already had.
Right.
Like I'm kind of. Like, don't get me wrong. I like Ben Affleck's take of Batman. You know, who's a bit darker. He didn't give a shit if he killed. Because, dude, he killed a lot of people in Batman v Superman.
Well, yeah, he did.
Like, he killed a lot of mofos in that one.
Well, yeah, he went ham. And I'm just saying, I just hope that they don't. I hope they do it right. And I'm really hoping that whenever they get around to having them do a Batman Beyond. You know, have you ever watched the series where it's like in the future?
Dude, I grew up on that. You grew up with the Batman animated series.
Right.
And I grew up with the Batman
Well,
Beyond.
I was like in my 20s smoking mad weed, watching Batman the animated series. But yes, I still...
Well, I mean, come on. I mean, everybody liked that one.
Yeah. I mean, I was still watching that and I enjoyed it. And like I said, even when Batman Beyond came on, I really enjoyed that because it was just like, it was a fresh take, you know? And it was Batman in the future, and it was like this, you know, this kid, and it was
a completely new Batman. It wasn't the same cut and dry.
But they did not take
Batman
out of it. They just made Bruce Wayne like this old curmudgeon.
He was his Jarvis.
Yeah, wow.
Outside.
He was more like a salty old man.
Yeah.
Right. Because literally in the first episode, Batman is like confronting some criminals and has a heart attack.
Right, and they had to pick up a gun, which he said he'd never used.
Yeah, he had to pull out a strap. Yeah, like, well, I can't beat you physically, but I'm finna put these, I'm gonna put this heat on you here in a second.
All right, about to go Joe Chill on you if you don't. Back the hell up.
And so then to keep it moving, so we have all these Disney Plus things coming out: Falcon and Winter Soldier, which I'm excited about.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that one, even though I have to pay for another freaking service.
That's what I'm saying, man. These paywalls are killing me. I mean, so full disclosure, was it Saturday night? I got shit faced, right? Drank a little whiskey and started making a podcast, and I wanted to make this point. It was like, I already paid for Netflix, I already paid for Hulu, I already paid for Amazon.
These bitches can't get with Netflix or Amazon.
Be like, I was like, no, I can't say that I really paid for Amazon. And then I'm like, shout out to Jennifer for paying for the Amazon, which to the point. Tuesday, Endgame comes out on digital.
Yes,
that's on me. I got that one. I'm buying that one. I bought Infinity War.
Get those bonus features, fam. I wanna.
Right, yeah. I'll spring for the bonus features, and I'll spring for Endgame. But so you have WandaVision,
which I
don't know.
I'm up on the air with that one.
I don't really know if I'm super excited about that one either.
Now the Loki one, I'm kind of excited for that one.
Right.
Because it starts off right after when he takes the Space Stone in Endgame.
Right.
So I kind of want to see where he goes from there.
Oh, yeah, I'm turning the wrong one. If I sound like I was in a bucket, everybody, I'm sorry.
He's not in a cave. He's right here next to me. I can see him.
Right. So, yeah. So, I mean, I hope that's good. I mean, because, all these things hinge on credible plots. You know what I mean? We got to be invested in the plot. And we just can't have these characters.
But, I mean, we're all invested in Loki. I mean, come on now. He's been around since Avengers.
Well, I mean, but that's what I'm saying. Just the fact that we know that this is going to be based on a timeline of where it splinters because he grabs the fucking, the Tesseract and, pieces out right there at the tower.
I'm interested to see what kind of events are in that one because, like you said, that's in a split timeline now. That's in a different timeline.
Yeah, and I think just knowing that is exciting enough for me to pay whatever the hell they're going to charge us. Right. Another $10 that they're going to get out of me.
If we're lucky.
$10.
I swear, if it's 15, but you know what? I'll
but
watch
that's what I'm saying. But they're gonna have tier packages, right? Yep. They're gonna be like, it's like, yo, look, just give me the Marvel shit. If I gotta pay $5.99 for Marvel access,
that would be great.
I don't give a shit about watching like the classic Disney stuff. I could give two shits.
Right.
Just give me access to the Marvel stuff. That's all or the Star Wars. Marvel and Star Wars is all I really care about.
Right? Shit.
But it's all. I mean, it's also great to be able to go and watch all of the Star Wars stuff because I think they're just you're gonna have access to all of it. Clone Wars, the trilogy,
Shit, man,
the prequels.
I'm gonna
the last two movies.
Since you
Hashtag
have
fuck Last Jedi.
you have our sign-on crap. We have all the MCU.
Right.
I will eventually buy all the Star Wars movies, even the famed not so good Phantom Menace.
Well, I mean, I've never been as hard on the prequels as like true diehard fans.
Dude, those diehard fans can. Whew.
I mean, because the Phantom Menace is kind of. I mean, it's a prequel. It's kind of setting up, and I really think that they were trying to. My only problem with Star Wars is that even the Attack of the Attack of the Clones, the second one,
when he goes to see the clones and shit,
right? They talk too much and not enough lightsaber.
Right, we're there to see people flip around and
right, and I mean I like
people.
I mean I like seeing ships fly and get into star battles or whatever you call it. But man, the meat and potatoes of the whole Jedi deal is having them go ham with some lightsabers.
Right, use that force.
Like that was literally Revenge of the Sith. I didn't actually know if I liked the movie, but I tell you what, that Anakin and Obi-Wan showdown on Mustafar.
That was a lightsaber battle.
That saved that movie for me. And that's why that's why I'll watch that one every time because I know that it's all going to lead up to the epic
most
throwdown.
Badass freaking Jedi lightsaber.
You got the chosen one and you got like one of the best Jedi there was, Obi-Wan.
Right.
Even if you even look in canon, they kind of shit on him a little bit, but look, this dude went a 1-on-1 with the chosen one.
Right.
And
bro, they knew each other's moves before they even dude, that fight was so choreographically amazing.
I mean, just the whole part. And I think too, the problem that they got with the prequels was it was just burgeoning on CGI. You know what I mean? These came out in early 2000.
And
you
bro,
know what I mean?
If you really pay attention hardcore to these movies, you can tell dude, in the Revenge of the Sith scene where he's like, he's too dangerous to be kept alive. It looks like freaking cardboard stuff going past on the freaking background.
And another thing that always, and that's what I'm saying, and even in all those movies, right, whenever you had them fighting something that was CGI, it just felt like they were like, okay, go out there and act like you're swinging at shit.
Right.
And that's what they did. So they just went out there and started swinging at shit. And then they're like, oh, well, I'll put that in later.
Like Jedi on crack when they're...
Right. They're just out there swinging the fucking stick around. And then they just went in afterwards and put in everything that they were cutting up.
Right.
And I always thought, man, if you could imagine how they could do that now, right?
Bro, some studio could kill it with today's technology with the CGI.
That's what I'm saying, right? And then
Marvel's de-aging stuff, that's some dope ass shit.
And they just can't. They just won't give us just all lightsabers all day.
Well, see,
that's all I care about.
You like the Star Wars movies.
Right.
I love the Halo series. I want somebody to make
an actual decent
freaking movie.
They can't get their head out of their own ass to ever make a Halo movie.
Dude, and it'd be dope as shit if someone made it.
It's like I read an article in Collider where, they're trying to make a Gears of War movie, right?
Oh, but even Dave Bautista said that's not going to happen. They've been trying to attach him to that.
How do you not see... How can you not look at Dave Bautista, right? And not see whatever that guy was, his name, Marcus, right? How do you not see the same character?
Well, he said I forgot what studio it was, and he's like, dude, listen, I'll fund this shit. Y'all just, find a director, get a good screenwriter, and
I know one time there was supposed to be a Halo movie with Denzel Washington. And I'm like, I don't see Denzel Washington playing Master Chief.
Okay, no, I don't think he was supposed to be Master Chief. I know there's other characters they could have him played, but I wouldn't let Denzel ride.
At one point, Steven Spielberg was supposed to be on board, which I kind of got excited about.
Yeah, apparently Star's supposed to be making a Halo series, but I haven't seen anything about that lately.
I don't know.
I love that series.
I mean,
want somebody to
what
justice.
happens is that you have all these companies and you have all this IP, right? Like Gears of War or Halo or whatever it is. And these companies buy them right? And they buy the rights to make movies, and then they just shit the bed, and they don't give you a movie, right?
And then whoever studio they bought it from is going to take it back.
It's like I don't know whoever's in control of Gears of War is like, how do you? And then apparently they're not even going to make a movie where they don't even have this Marcus dude in it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the hell are you doing?
Is about Marcus, and
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Why would you have this movie property
and not have Marcus,
and then not have the main fucking title character in it that's sold millions and millions of fucking video games?
That's like making an Iron Man movie, not having Tony Stark in it.
Right. It's like it's Tony's cousin,
Yeah.
Earl. Hey, I'm Earl Stark. Check out this shit I got.
Look at my new suit I bought.
Yeah. Look what I made in the garage. But yeah. So that's what I'm saying, man. A lot of these people, and the problem is that the video game people that make these properties, they sell it to a movie studio, right? But then a lot of them have to give up creative control. Yep. Right? They can't.
Or if they do sell it, and whoever buys it, they don't let them have their input in on it at all.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They have to give up. They have to give up creative control. Yeah. And if you
why would you not want those people to come in and help you out?
No, because look at all these video games now. Yeah. Even Gears of War, it's like an interactive movie, right?
Right.
That's the reason why I lost like 6 months of my fucking life to Red Dead Redemption.
Bro, oh my God.
Right? And even when I knew that I could just speed through all the missions, right? Like my brother was like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm playing Red Dead Redemption." He's like, "Still?" It's like you got it. You
understand, man.
It's like you got it in October.
Right.
And then because you haven't finished it yet.
Well, shoot, dude, I still get shit from my friends. I'm still playing Halo Reach, and that shit came out in 2000, man.
I still play. I mean, once I finished the main story on Red Dead Redemption 2, I mean, when you start back as John, # spoiler alert. Yeah. Right? When you eventually
if you haven't played, when it came out in October.
It's like if you haven't played Red Dead Redemption 2 yet, you probably hadn't seen fucking Endgame. And it's like, are you like
you're one of the handful
of
people.
Are you living on the moon? You know what I mean?
What rock have you not crawled out of yet?
Right. So, yeah. So that's what I'm saying is you have these companies that literally they're making like Rockstar with
making many movies in the game.
That parts of it you're interacting in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like.
So I think
there's a reason why it took 8 years.
Yeah.
Right? Or 10 years to make.
However long it was.
And for them not to have their input.
Yeah.
I think that's just like Hollywood.
Well, I feel like there's some studios because they've seen a lot of these studios just eat shit on the movies they try to make games over.
Right.
And so that's what makes them kind of be like, whoa.
Resident Evil.
Yeah.
The first one was all right.
Yeah.
But the ones that followed were shit shows.
And they kept making them.
And they kept making them.
And making them.
Because, there's also a market for that. Because literally it went from having like a superstar franchise movie, and then it became like campy, like fucking B-movie horror movies,
right?
And there's a market for that shit.
Yeah,
there's a lot of people that'll watch a bad movie just because that's their thing,
just for shits and giggles.
I like bad movies, because I sit there and I talk shit about them the whole time, right? That's their entertainment.
You're like, oh my God, you can totally.
I don't subscribe to that. I mean, totally. I mean, I like watching a terrible movie
every once in a while.
Yeah, but I'm not like some people. That's their bag. They watch them all the time.
It's probably the same people who haven't seen Endgame yet.
Right. So, man, we went on a tangent. Let's try to rein this back in. So now we have. Let me see if I can bring that back up. So we have the Eternals. We have the series.
Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi. Now
that I got some high hopes for.
If for some reason somebody accidentally that works at Marvel accidentally watches and listens to this podcast on YouTube.
Oh, please.
By accident.
Give us premiere tickets.
Okay, this is all you need to know about Shang-Chi. Watch Iron Fist.
Yep.
And do the exact opposite.
Yeah, for real.
Watch Iron Fist on Netflix and do the exact opposite.
And she'd be like, ugh, let's not go that direction.
And that was so I don't want to get on a tangent. But
Shang-Chi, all right?
Yeah, Shang-Chi.
It'll be really good.
This is what we want. We want a good villain because we know that what's his face.
They're bringing the Mandarin back.
Right.
The real Mandarin this time, not Iron Man 3.
And they're going to have that dude that was playing him in Iron Man 3. Hopefully he'll have a cameo.
That was the fake
I know.
Mandarin.
But he was still hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
And they need to bring him back at some point,
They gave me drugs.
I mean, he's got to, Ben Kingsley has to be in his movie at some point, even if he's just like a stooge. You know what I'm saying? Give us good martial arts. Give us good action.
Right.
Don't be racist.
Yeah, please. Yeah, Marvel, don't.
Don't play on
if
Asian.
If you're listening to this podcast, don't throw in racial slurs or
make things that are like, because they're going to be under a microscope. You know what I mean? Anything that they do is going to be like, oh.
Right. Yeah, I get they want Marvel. They have their funny moments.
Right.
Do not go in the rabbit hole for those jokes.
Don't go racist for the laughs because you'll be eaten alive.
just pull back a little bit. Pull back.
So you got Shang-Chi coming out 2021.
I hope it's good.
Then spring 21, February of. So I mean, at least next year. I mean, literally we have to wait
almost
a
the whole year
to get Black Widow, and then you can go on Disney Plus and watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Then we'll get Eternals in November. First part of 2021, we'll get Shang-Chi.
Yep.
And then we'll be able to watch WandaVision.
Which, again, I don't really know if I'm into that.
I'm going to watch it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to hate that Disney's making me pay for it.
Yeah,
but
I was about to
say,
we kind of have to watch those shows now because they're supposed to intertwine with the movies more. So.
Right. Which something they didn't do with S.H.I.E.L.D., which I never understood.
Well, shit, S.H.I.E.L.D. found the freaking spear from Loki, so I mean.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know whoever made that decision to not intertwine the actions in the Marvel in the cinematic universe and didn't intertwine with the TV stuff. It never made sense to me. So, February 2021, we get Shang-Chi. Then we get Doctor Strange.
Oh.
Like 3 months later.
I cannot wait for that.
And that's supposed to have. So you have to watch WandaVision now because apparently events that happen in there are going to wind up in the multiverse of madness.
Yeah, Elizabeth Olsen's supposed to be starring it with Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah, so they're both going to be in this movie.
But I heard that it was supposed to be like Marvel's first horror movie. I'm kind of
and
excited.
I can dig it, and I can dig it all day long.
Oh yeah,
as long as they do it right. You know what I mean?
But I hate that we have to pay for another service to see what.
And then spring of 2021, also you're going to get the Loki series, and I'm excited about that because now we're going to see what. Because even then, right after the Ancient One explained to Banner. Timelines theory, and then when you see Loki grab the Tesseract and deuce out, I was like, "Yo, what the hell is he gonna do?" Because this is not like Loki from.
Yeah, no, this is 2012 Loki that
wanted to kill everybody. I want to
rule the earth, and if you're not, I'm gonna fucking kill you.
So then we're gonna get the What If series in summer of 21.
I'm excited for that. It's supposed to be an animated series, but people who played the roles are supposed to come back and voice them. So I'm excited.
And I hope they give us animation.
Good animation.
And I know we're talking about Disney.
Yeah.
I just hope that they really bring it with the animation.
Don't make it too kiddish.
And I don't want it exaggerated.
No.
Animation. Just give us animation, and we know it's animated, but just give us a little bit more.
All
down to earth.
I don't want it too kiddish of animation.
I don't want them like small bodies and big heads. You know what I mean? Just give us
just decent animation.
Like a Titan. Have you ever seen like Titan AE?
Yeah.
Right? Give us us animation like that. But now they can do so much more with the technology. So we get Loki, we get the What If, and then quit shrinking on me. God damn you. November of 2021 we get Thor Love and Thunder. And I'm like
I freaking love. My mom hates that title, but I love it.
Oh, it's like fall of 2021 we get the Hawkeye series. Yeah. And I'm glad to see Hawkeye.
Get
I'll watch
spotlight.
it. He's training like his replacement or whatever.
Right.
So I mean, I don't want to take away from Hawkeye. He's a good character, but I mean, it's just going to be. Hopefully, it'll be like a spy thriller series where he's
supposed to be training Kate Bishop,
where maybe they're doing missions together. She's like his Padawan, and he's trying to bring her up. And I'm gonna watch that. I'm not shitting on it, but then the main thing I worry about is this Thor: Love and Thunder, right?
Yeah.
And
I don't know how they're gonna bring back Natalie Portman in like the main continuity because that's hard.
They're gonna bring her back.
The last movie she's
supposed to be a female Thor.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And look.
But in the comics,
before
there was a female Thor, but she had cancer, and every time she turned into Thor, it like heightened the cancer. So I don't know if they're gonna put that in the story or
right. And here's the thing: I don't care that there's a female Thor.
Yeah, neither do I.
I do care is that it's like if they're just trying to push it to just so they can show everybody all the the social justice warriors that look, we're making a female Thor who is traditionally a male character.
But don't dumb her down.
Or don't just dump it on us, and don't dump it down, and don't force us on it. If it's something that's plausible, right, write it well.
Yeah.
If you write it well, I can live with having Natalie Portman as Thor.
Right.
We're almost done, buddy. I know it's hot as hell in here. It's in Texas. It's like 8,000 degrees. AC fucks with the audio.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. Write it well. And, hopefully Taika, is coming back to direct.
Man, I trust him, man. He killed it with
Well, that's what made me feel better. Because I started to think that, man, are they really going to cave to, like, social justice warriors?
Yeah.
And they're not want to do this. But I'm like, if you write it well and it makes sense, right, I'll buy in. And I'll enjoy it. And I'll be okay with it.
Just don't put too much or don't.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like, don't dumb it down. Don't half-ass it. Write it well, and people will accept it. You know
Give
what I
her
mean?
good parts, too. I mean, because she's a good actress.
All right. Last thing before we get out of this hot box. Blade movie.
Oh.
Mahershala Ali.
Hell yes.
I know you. Have you seen the Green Book? Because your mom bought it on Amazon that I be hacking off of.
It was good.
And then he was also in Alita Battle Angel.
He was in True Detective. And he killed it in that one.
And he was in the first season of Luke Cage.
Yep.
On Netflix, and he played Cottonmouth. I don't hate it.
No,
I don't hate it at all. And
dude, I can't wait to see it. But there's a lot of people out there like, oh well, he already looks like Wesley Snipes. He's gonna try to copy him.
They look nothing alike.
No.
Where the hell you?
That's the racism.
Yeah, that's racism. It's like, well, they kind of look like. No.
Maybe if you were squinting, turn to the side.
Yeah,
maybe.
no, you hillbilly. They don't look alike.
Yeah.
I mean, the only characteristic that they share physically is that they're African American.
Yeah.
Other than that, they look nothing alike.
But bro, I cannot wait. I can't wait.
But you're gonna have to wait.
Yeah, I know.
Because apparently it's not gonna come out to like 2023 or 24.
Well, I think it's supposed to start like the 5th phase. So I mean, it's gonna be a hot minute till we get to see him.
Which I don't understand. I mean, why are we waiting? You know what I mean? Because a couple years ago, Feige was like, "We're gonna do 3 movies a year."
Yeah.
And everybody was like, sitting at home, rubbing their peckers because they thought they were gonna get 3 Marvel movies every year.
And then they go to Hall H and they're like,
"Yeah, hey, guess what? Hey, we're gonna do Blade, but we're gonna do it 4 years from now."
Right.
And I'm like, who's gonna give a shit?
Right.
I think, especially because he's a 2-time Oscar winner. He's hot. Why doesn't this shit get bumped up?
Well, bro, okay, so usually when they want to make movies like this, they have to like have an appointment with Kevin, which makes sense. I mean, come on, it's Marvel.
Right. Well, Kevin has to ask you to come there.
Yeah, and
I mean, that's how balling they are.
He said he brought Ali in there, and he was like, "Well, okay, let's talk about what movies do you want to do?" He was like, Blade.
Yeah.
And he was all, bro, yes.
Yeah.
Not till 2025 though, but yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, where the hell are you making that? Because look, here's the thing, right? Why couldn't they introduce him in the Multiverse of Madness?
Yeah, they could have easily at least give him an Easter egg or a short little clip.
Which I think, if there's going to be a post-credit scene or a mid-credit scene, it's going to be introducing Blade,
and all the supernatural that comes with it too, because it's not just.
Because it's a horror movie.
Yeah.
This is Doctor Strange's. This is his bag. This is what he's into the supernatural and the mystical.
Yeah.
What's more supernatural and mystical than fucking vampires?
Right. I wonder who they're gonna bring next. Werewolf.
Right. Whatever. I don't see. I think it's a bad move that they wait so long to give us a Blade movie.
Yeah,
Introduce him into with the multiverse of the madness of the multiverse.
Give him a quick scene.
Give him a quick scene.
Yeah.
Set it up. And then boom, a year later, give us a Blade movie. They have the money. They have the directors that they could pick. They're pretty much the biggest studio going right now.
Well, I think they're doing that because he doesn't want to rush something like that. That could either be a flop because And
I agree because I don't want them to fuck it up. Right?
Yeah, I mean, it's Blade. I mean, come on.
Right?
I mean, even Wesley Snipes was like, hell yeah.
Here's the thing, they can hire writers and look, they could start writing it now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then shooting would start,
And I'm sure they've already had to hire
next year.
Right. I'm sure they've already hired a writer, right? Or at least they have some in mind.
Yeah.
Get it cracking, right? And then he films a cameo, or a mid-credit scene or a post-credit scene for Multiverse of Madness, and then boom, go into production that year.
Yeah.
Or even another year.
Well, if they start writing now,
I'll even take 2022.
Yeah. If they start writing now, it usually takes 6-7 months to actually get a good script.
Right.
Even if it's a better script,
I'm saying
it's gonna be a year.
I just don't see why it was going to take 4.
Yeah.
I can live with 2.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Maybe 3. Maybe.
I wouldn't even go that far.
Yeah.
I think they're pushing it, right? Because now you already got everybody excited.
Right.
And now it's going to be like it's like these fucking Avatar movies, right? They blow our minds with Avatar, and then James Cameron's like, well, we're going to make sequels. It's going to be 6 years later.
Well, yeah, apparently he's waiting to where he can make the 3D to where you don't have to wear glasses, which that technology is nowhere near
I don't know why are you fucking worrying about 3D?
It's
why
James
are you
Cameron, dude.
That's what happens when like you make the biggest movie of all time, up till Endgame took over.
As shit if you want to.
Right? And then you're like, what are they going to tell you? Hey man, you need to be on a schedule. And he's like, fuck off. I made the highest grossing movie of all time.
Hey Disney man, I could split if you want me to.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I just think it's a bad move for them to wait so long for a Blade movie because people are that's all they're gonna give a shit about, and then at some point they're gonna give up. Right, and then the Blade movie.
And then by the time the trailer drops, we're like, I don't even care anymore.
Yeah, nobody's gonna be. Yeah. I mean, there may be some resurgence.
But see, maybe that's their plan. They say it's gonna come in fifth phase, and they're like, you know what?
Well, I would greatly accept that rope-a-dope.
Right.
I would have them.
Kevin, if you're listening.
Yeah.
If you're listening.
If by accident you clicked on this podcast while you're trying to watch cat videos on YouTube, surprise us. Right. Rope-a-dope us right into 2021.
We have the crack in our finger. We're ready to just
Yeah, we're ready to dive in, and that's what I.
Just not 5 years later.
Yeah. So. Yeah, if I'm excited for Love and Thunder. I don't care if
I love that title.
I don't care if Natalie Portman is Thor, as long as they write it right and they make it smart. If they do both of those things, it won't have any trouble. But if they don't, it's gonna get shredded.
Taika's gonna get it. I trust him.
So what we learned. Don't fuck up Thor, Love and Thunder.
Yep.
Quit. Don't wait fucking 5 years to give us a Blade movie.
Don't get racist with
Shang-Chi.
Don't.
There's not going to be any nudity in Black Widow, right? Have you ever watched that Jennifer Lawrence movie, The Red Room, or The Red Sparrow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't need that.
Well, there's some parts of that we need.
Well, yeah. I mean,
there's some parts of that movie we need, but not all of it.
Johansson.
Right.
Come on,
But anyway,
if you want to see that, go watch Ghost in the Shell.
If you want to go see that, there's another movie where she's like an alien, and she's literally standing in a black room, just butt ass nude. I gotta look it up. I'll text it to you once I have to find it.
Well, okay. Let's just be clear that this is the movie. The movie. This isn't some
right
black market fucking video.
Well, we're gonna wrap it up before we all spontaneously combust because it's like 8,000 degrees in fucking Texas.
Thanks, Texas, by the way.
Everybody, thanks for listening. I was going over my YouTube channels and have been a consistent 10 listeners on all the podcasts. I don't know. I can't find out.
Man.
I can't find out who you are. But much love and respect. Much love. Thanks for listening. We're gonna be trying to keep pumping these out faster. Go to the Facebook page at Nerdified Podcast on Facebook page. Go to YouTube/Nerdified. Watch the podcast on there if you want. Go on SoundCloud
for all you youngin'.
Yeah, Nerdified. You can listen to the podcast there. We still got plenty of shit that we can cover on these Marvel announcements.
We can theorize
and
for
not just on Marvel stuff, but there's a lot of DC stuff that's coming out. But we're gonna get out of here. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.